Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here, bringing you another Escape from Tarkov video. I hope you're all doing well. So in this video I'm going to show you how I make money in Escape from Tarkov. Now it's no surprise to those of you that have followed me for a little while that I do this using Hatchet Runs. Yes, I know a lot of people don't like Hatchet people, but for me it's a legitimate tactic within the game to make money if you're down on your luck. It's also a legitimate way for me to play the game due to where my setup is. I have my PC in the corner of the living room, I've always got my family around me, so I can't really be ignorant to them and sit with my headset on all the time. So I do hatchet runs with no headset on. You know, I'm not going to risk gear while I have no headset on, so I just do the hatchets. And I'm able to do quite a few of them during the day and still interact with my family to a certain degree. So yeah, I do the hatchet runs. I've done a couple of these videos before. I think I've done one for customs and I've done one for labs. The labs one isn't too relevant anymore due to the fact that all of the mechanical keys were turned into key cards. Those still access the same areas, but of course you've got to pay 115,000 rubles for a keycard to get onto labs in the first place, so running hatchet runs on there doesn't really seem to benefit you anymore. It's certainly not something that I would do. You would have to make sure that you do hit the good loot places first. You know, you're looking at the LEDXs and things like that. You've got to make sure you get to those and manage to gamma them, so it is a massive gamble to do it on labs now, and I don't do it anymore. Customs was one that I was using for a while. There was some good loot on there, especially since 11.7 safes got a buff, and you can get the keys with the safes in relatively cheap. If you can hit them, you can get a fair bit out. But then I started doing Shoreline, and the loot on there is definitely worth the risk. So you're going to need some keys for this map. You're going to need, for the west wing, you're going to need 220 and 218. For the east wing, you're going to need 310, 218, 222 and 205. Now, depending on where you spawn on the map will depend which wing you hit first. Now, Shoreline is one of these maps where you can literally be spawned in the very far corner of the map. So if you spawned on the beach next to the tunnel extract, you were looking at a good 3 minutes of sprinting and walking to make it to the I think that's west wing, isn't it? Yeah, west wing. So it takes a while to get there, but it is worth it, and depending on the time of day as well that you do these runs. Now, if you go through a popular time of day for like 2 PM, the map's going to be busy. There's a good chance though that you will still be able to hit some of the rooms and get to them unlocked, but a lesser chance that you'll actually make it off the map alive. So if you can go after 6 PM, it doesn't get dark on these maps until around 9:30 PM, and between 6 and 10 PM you get very few people bothering. A lot of those people that like to play with, you know, good lighting will abandon the map at 6 PM and go to the morning version of the map. Likewise, if you can get on in the morning from around 4:30 to 6 AM, map's very empty then, but it is light enough to do these hatchet runs. So depending on where you spawn, as I say, will depend which wing you hit first. If you hit east wing first, I go straight up onto the 3rd floor and go to room 310. This has the highest chance of rare loot spawning in it, so that's the one I hit first. But don't be surprised if you go into this room sometimes and there is nothing there. That happens sometimes. You can go in, you might even get a lion statue and a Bitcoin sometimes. Other times you'll walk in there and there'll be a chainlet, and that is it. So, but it's definitely one of the rooms to try and hit first if you can. Then I like to drop down to the 2nd floor. I go around to room 218. Now, you don't need a key for this. You can walk straight into that and it gives you access to the next room. Now, the reason I say go into the next room is because you can get a red key card spawn in that room. Now, the red key cards are worth a lot of money. You are talking millions. I've found 2 of them so far in this wipe. I sold one of them for 32 million. I've held on to another one just for the hell of it because we've been, me and my squad have been doing that labs room. But yeah, if you can find that, you are quitting. Definitely make sure that you gamma that thing straight away. You do not want to lose it. But it's always good to have a check in there. If there isn't anything, then I'll loop round to room 222, which is the next room over. That will have rare loot spawn in it. There is access to the next room as well where you will get med spawns. You also find the thermoscopes in there as well. So these are definitely 2 rooms that you want to check out. I think there's a couple of great weapons cases in these rooms as well that you can check out. Then what I do once I've left there is I go towards the west wing, and I will go to room 205, which is just before you get onto the land bridge that takes you across to the next wing. There's a drawer on the bed in there. You have a chance for rare loot to spawn there, sometimes bitcoins, roller watches, things like that. You can loop around into the next room, which has meds spawns in it as well. So these are good rooms to hit if you're looking for things like morphine and salivas. If you've got those kind of tasks to do, you can get a lot of meds out of these rooms. There's also a couple of weapons cases in there as well. Then when I get over to the west wing, I like to drop down into the basement. Now the reason I say this is because it's another red key card spawn. If you drop down and go into the gymnasium that is at the back of the basement, there is a locker in there. I think there's 3 shelves in it, and a red key card can spawn on one of those shelves in there. I have found one of my red key cards there before, so it's a good place to look. Then I like to go up onto the second floor. I will go to room 220. In here you can get rare loot spawning in there as well. Often there's gold chains, things like that. You will find quite a bit in there. And then I go across to 218. Now 218 gives you access to, I think it's 3 other rooms altogether, but in there you will get another red key card spawn. There is a barrel just to the left in the room that will, if the red key card does spawn, it will be on top of the barrel. And then, as I say, it gives you access to the other rooms. There's lots of weapons crates in there and a couple of cabinets to check out. Some really good loot in these rooms. So as I say, that is how I'm making my money. Now I did a little test on Friday. I did 1 hour of hatchet runs on this map, and in that 1 hour I managed to make 2.3 million rubles out of the loot that you can see on the screen right now. Now that was a combination of selling direct to vendors and putting some of that loot onto the flea market. Obviously prices vary with the flea market, so you may make more than I do or may make less. It also depends on the loot that you manage to get off the map. I was quite lucky. I got quite a few Tetris machines, a couple of bitcoins, things like that. But the loot is worth it. It is very much worth it. And as I say, for an hour I was able to make over 2 million rubles. That would fund some of my squad forays, you know, fully geared PMC goes quite a few times. That, you know, I could get quite a lot with that. And as I say, definitely look for the red key cards when you go onto this map, because they are worth a lot of money. And that is pretty much how I'm making my money in this game right now. I'm doing a lot of hatchet runs, as I say, when I can't play the game how you're meant to play it, you know, fully PMC'd with your headset on with your friends. I just do the odd hatchet run now and again, and yeah, you get quite a lot out of it. Not saying it's the definitive way to make money in Escape from Tarkov. Everybody will have their own way. Of course, fully geared runs on labs, if you manage to take out a couple of scav raiders, you will come out with a lot. If you was to do that in the course of an hour, you will be making millions and millions. So, you know, everybody has their own way of making money. This is just one of the ways that I make mine. So in the description below, I'll tell you what keys you need. Yeah, they cost a lot. I just went straight to the flea market and bought them. I didn't bother trying to find them on the maps. It just takes too long to farm some of these keys. The spawn ratio of them is just too low to bother with. Just go to the flea market, buy them, and you are quids in. So yeah, hopefully this video has been helpful. Let me know in the comment section down below how you make money in Escape from Tarkov. I would assume that not everybody does it the same way that I do. You know, hatchets are the scourge for a lot of people, as I say, but it's just how I do it. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below how you do it. Any suggestions or tips for me or other people that might be viewing the video, let us know. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.